there was something really important that I felt like I needed to like share with everyone, and now I'm like, okay. So, okay. I wanted to talk about sex work for a second.
Yeah.
May I? Yeah. Because I'm an alum. Okay? Yeah. I'm an alum, and I think I just, there's a couple of things that I thought I wanted to take the opportunity, since we're here together in person, and it's such a privilege and a special awkwardness to get to be sharing physical space together in this day and age. It's like, I don't take that for granted. And because it's not every day that one is in a room full of people who are identifying as poets and who are also in some form identifying with sex work or are sex workers, and this event is also supporting trans sex workers. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the prostitution of art in this culture.
Yeah.
If I may. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I said to the ravishing stage manager, I was like, I no longer identify as a whore, and that's no shade on whoredom, and because to some extent, like the beauty of using that word is also sort of laying bare the truth of sort of what we are and where we are in this sort of very transactional culture that we live in, right? But I felt like I wanted to share a few things because a decade is closing, and because, there was just that election in the UK, and because of the space of art. Obviously Baudelaire, you guys all know what Baudelaire said about art, right? Does anyone want to call it out? Do you get anyone? Well, Baudelaire said that all art is prostitution. And, he was really, I think, the prophet of our times in a lot of ways. And, maybe he was being provocative, but he was also in love with a prostitute. And there's so many, okay, now, instead of just kind of talking abstractly and quoting dead white male poets, I just want to speak from, is it okay if I just speak from my heart a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for me, where sex work came from and where it started for me, I think it was mainly a desire for adventure. Does anybody else feel? Yeah, right? I wanted more experiences that I could have just as me, right? And I think there's something about that that's really that's like connected to being an artist, but it's also connected to it's like an outfit that you can put on, or like a coat that you can put on as a woman or as a person who can't figure out quite how to have all the adventures that she wants to have. It's a way to have some adventures. And I think it was that for me first. I mean, I was broke too. And I guess what I pray for is that, like, where it started to get tricky for me after a while was like it became a bit of a feedback loop of a kind of I noticed that something transactional in my own self-objectification. Am I losing you? You with me? Okay. I noticed after some time that some of the political language that I used in order to justify my own self-objectification was rather hollow. I'm just speaking for me, okay? And I found that I found that something transactional in my own sense of value was creeping in to other dimensions and domains of my life. And I just wanted to pause here about value and say something astrological. I know there's so many gifted diviners and tarot readers and astrologers and witches in the room. I can feel you all. Woo! I just wanted to say something about Uranus and Taurus. Is it okay? May I? Yeah. So, because we're about a year into this. You know, there's different sort of time signatures of the epochs and eras that are shifting. I sort of have this vibe that, like, I think the Julian calendar is going to go away eventually, like in not too long, like possibly in our lifetimes. But so the year's about to turn where it's about to be 2020, but Uranus, the planet Uranus, has been in Taurus for like a year-ish. And what that kind of means for value, Taurus is about wealth and money. And yeah, okay, and Uranus is this kind of revolutionary force from the future that is also very explosive and messy, and it, like, in order to make omelets, it breaks eggs. But so I guess I just wanted to invite us all to think about true value, and because we're in capitalism and because we're in this very extremely stacked moment, again, like, that's very much against art, it's against poetry, it's against the feminine, it's against the queer, like the planet is pretty exploding right now. So this is a very special energy that we're all honoring. And so I just wanted to invite you to just like really notice how you think about value, and to think about spaces and ways to create value that's outside of the transactional sphere.
Yeah.
Thank you.